If you guys have been around on my channel for a while, you know that I'm obsessed with illustration rares, and there's many good reasons for that, but there's one reason I want to be sharing with you guys today. There is a massive increase in value if you are able to grade them and they come back a 10. Of course, the most iconic illustration rare is the Magikarp from Payday Revolved, which raw looks to be about between 130 to 200 pounds, which is crazy, but if you look at the value of this card in a PSA 10, it is up at around 1,000 pounds, which is absolutely ridiculous. And that is the point of this video, to show you guys that there are cards out there that have a massive value increase in a PSA 10 relative to their raw price. So let's check those cards out. The first card we're going to take a look at is Slowpoke from Scarlet and Violet base. This was featured in my top 5 illustration rare video. The value of this card has increased since then. It's now around 20 pounds, as we can see from the sales right here. There is one at 15 pounds, but it has some scratches on it, so definitely not worth it. 23 pound right there. Someone got it for a steal for £12.84 and a £10 sale right there. But around 20 pounds is what you can expect to pick it up for, and it's crazy how much the value increases when you get it in a PSA 10. Because when we look at the PSA 10 prices, look at this. The latest sale for this PSA 10 Slowpoke, £250. Before that, 2 sales in January at 170 and then 179. Absolutely crazy sales. Your £20 card becoming basically around £200. You can 10x the value of your card. It's absolutely crazy. But bear in mind, guys, it is very difficult to grade your illustration rares in a 10. A lot of them have issues, a little print specs, some print lines, whatever it is. The centering could be off. But let me show you the pop report as well. As you can see, we have Slowpoke right here. Someone managed to get it in a PSA 1. Fair play to them. I'm sure they did that on purpose. But 1,368 submissions to PSA with this Slowpoke, and only 222 of them are in a PSA 10. It's very difficult to grade them, but definitely if you guys have a clean copy, try to get it graded, because your £20 card becoming a 250, 170, becoming that expensive is absolutely crazy. The price increase is nuts. The next card we're going to take a look at is Drowzee from Scarlet and Violet base. This card, drawn by my favorite artist, Tomokazu Kamiya. I love this card. It's a beauty. It has skyrocketed in price as well. It used to be about £15 probably a month ago, and we look at the sales right now, it's around 30, 35. One sale there at 55, 35 pound, and it's just crazy when you get to see the prices that this has been selling at in a PSA 10. We can actually just scroll straight up here and we see that today, the 12th of February, one sold for £450 in a PSA 10. Absolutely incredible pricing. That's I don't even know what to say. If you guys have any of this and it's worth grading, just give it a shot. Give it a shot, see if you can get it in a 10. It's a £30 card and you can get 15x your value. It's crazy, absolutely nuts. We can also have a look at these other ones here as well. That's Japanese for £40. It's always interesting to see the price difference between Japanese and English. Of course, it's way easier to grade high in Japanese versus English, and the price really reflects it. But we've had sales for 255 in a PSA 10, 299, £300 basically right there, 250, 250, 190. But we look at America, I don't know what you Americans are doing, because oh my god, at around £600, insane. It might just be a conversion thing with how much that they had actually paid for it, but if it's around £600, my god, that's unbelievable. Absolutely crazy. We can look at the pop reports as well, which are right here. Drowzee 210, as you can see, 1,585 submissions and only 329 PSA 10s. 952 PSA 9s. It's incredibly hard to get this in a PSA 10, but you guys see the value. It's crazy. A £30 card becoming what looks like a £450 card right now is crazy, absolutely crazy. At the very least, you can basically tenfold your money if you're able to sell it for about £300. Crazy sales. Definitely check out your Drowzee, see if it's worth grading. So the next card we're going to look at is Ralts from Scarlet and Violet base, and I know this is on a lot of people's radar, but to give you guys a little tip, these cards which are part of a 3-parter or a 2-parter, they're always worth keeping an eye on, always worth it. You see you have the Ralts here, the Kirlia and the Gardevoir together. If you are able to get them sequential, well, you're into some big money right there. But Ralts itself is going for around £25. It looks like you can get it for a little bit more, a little bit less. I suppose it just matters on the centering, stuff like that. Centering is a big issue on these illustration rares as to what gets it down to a 9 from a 10. But you can see it's all selling for around £20, which is crazy. I remember I picked up one for about £5 in an LCS in August, I think it was, which is crazy now seeing how much it's gone up to. But yeah, let's look at the PSA 10 prices, and there's none on eBay. There's none on the UK eBay right now. There's no exact matches found, as you guys can see. There are a lot of sales in America. All look to be around £300. So I'm not sure how much it would actually be in England. But probably, you know, 180 to 230 pound mark, which is absolutely nuts if you think about it. But we can look at the pop report. It is a shame that we don't have anything like TCG Player to have a nice collection of all the markets that sell. But if we look at the pop reports right here, we can see 2,134 submissions and only 306 PSA 10s. Absolutely crazy numbers. 1,206 in a PSA 9, which is over 50%, which is absolutely crazy. You guys can see how difficult it is to grade these illustration rares, but I mean, from a 25, 30 pound card all the way up to what could be a 200, 250 pound card. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And bear in mind that if you are able to get the Kirlia and the Gardevoir all done in a sequential set, well, you're laughing. You're laughing all the way to the bank at that point. And speaking of Kirlia, let's move on to it. So here we have the Kirlia, and it looks like it's selling just below £20, or around it at the very least. But yeah, okay, never mind, it's over £20, around 25. I don't know what's up with these sales. They are all over the place. Yeah, it looks like it's, at the very least, you can get it for around £20. It looks like 20 to £25 market value. And again, just like the Ralts, it's a very difficult card to grade. Illustration rares, of course, the centering issue, the little white speck printing error that they will have. But we look at the PSA 10 sales, and it's actually on the cheaper side. The latest sale right now is £59, but that was in December, bear in mind. All of these are before 2025, but what we can do is hopefully find some stuff that happened in the year. So here we have this listing right here. Gardevoir we get in a PSA 10, the Kirlia in a 9, Ralts in a 9, but all three of those for £175. You guys can see that there is such a demand for this type of stuff. The further down we go, we're not even seeing any sales. We are not seeing any sales for PSA 10s. I was hoping that we could see the market abroad right there. There's a PSA 9, it's over £20. It's really high risk, high reward when it comes to illustration rares, because no one wants it in a 9. Everything's going to be in a 9 if you get in modern. So you have to go for that 10. But either way, you guys can see that there have been some sales at around £60 to £80, but it's definitely worth a lot more now. We can look. You can probably expect for it to be around £120. I don't think that's an uneducated guess, so you guys can judge that the way you want to. But we can also look at the pop report. We have Kirlia right there. 1,983 submissions, so less submissions into PSA than the Ralts, and more PSA 10. So you might have a better chance getting this Kirlia in a PSA 10, but still not very easy. But you guys can see it's very, very difficult to get a hold of in a PSA 10. I can only imagine it's going to go up from here. So, I mean, whoever got this for £59, crazy lucky, crazy lucky. The next card we're going to look at is Maushold from Paldea Evolved, and this card is a bit of a sleeper, I think. The price has definitely skyrocketed. There's a lot more eyes on it, but I find it so interesting because it is a Gen 9 Pokemon, which is now going up in price. Usually it's just a Gen 1 to Gen 4, 5 maybe, and anything after that is usually a couple Pokemon that are beloved. But a Gen 9 Pokemon going up like this is kind of crazy. I don't know what's going on. As you can see, it's about £25 to £30. There's some random sales at like £30 and £10.49. I think £25 is probably accurate to say market value up to about £30. But still, you guys can see this has gone up like crazy. A PSA 9 sale right there for £35. But as you guys can see, if we go to the PSA 10 sales, there's none in England, and I can only see one in America for some reason. I'm sure there's a lot more, but this was sold in the 17th of December for £215, and this was before, I would imagine, the price hike. So it's obviously way more than that right now. It's definitely a sleeper here. Not too many people are talking about this. I think people are just figuring it out now. But if we look at the pop report, for example, right here, we've got 226, Maushold. Only 470 submissions, but look at that, only 68 PSA 10s in the world, which is crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. More than half of the submissions, or just about half of the submissions, are PSA 9s, and the rest is below. It's definitely crazy. Again, the same theme as everything, around a £20 card, £25 to £30 card becoming, so probably going to be about a £240 card, I would probably imagine. It's just crazy that you can 10x your money around 10 extra money. Absolutely nuts. Definitely worth having a look at this type of stuff, seeing if you have any of these cards that are worth grading, and try get it graded. The next card we're going to take a look at is Marill, and I know this card has been going up like crazy. I've heard a lot of people talking about it. As you can see, it's selling for around £30 right now. We've got a PSA 9 sale for £40, but raw value is all around £30. There are some bits and bobs up and down below that £30 mark. There's another PSA 9 for 40. Look at the PSA 10 price. There's only one sale in the UK right now, and it's at £390. It's absolutely bloody crazy. That's 13 times the value of it raw. It's just nuts. It's nuts. I don't know how this person managed to get it for £72 from Australia, but fair play to that guy right there. But in America, it's the same story. Absolutely crazy. People are right by saying it's low pop, because when we get onto the pop report, as you guys can see, we've got Marill right there, and 704 submissions only, and only 128 PSA 10s. It's absolutely nuts. There's so little PSA 10s out there. Honestly, not a lot of people are even submitting them into PSA. So definitely worth trying to have a look at, see if you have a Marill, see if it's worth grading. Because to turn your £30 card into basically a £400 card, crazy, absolutely crazy. I don't know. You just give it a go. Give it a go. If you have a good one, if you find a good one, just grade it, because this is absolutely crazy. It's a recent sale as well, 25th of January. I mean, what more do I need to say? Absolutely crazy. The last video we're going to take a look at for this video will be Sudowoodo from Payday Evolved. Is that the right way to say Sudowoodo? Sudowoodo. I'm having a mental breakdown. That's why this is going to be the last card. But as you guys can see, the sales for this card are all around 10 to 12 pounds. Beautiful card. I love this card. Again, was featured in my top 5 illustration rare video. It's an absolutely stunning card, not too expensive as well, and I think you guys will find it quite interesting when you see the PSA 10 price. Again, none have been sold in the UK, it looks like, but when we look at America, it's around £200, £150, 240, 144, 144. There's a 73 on the 8th of Jan right there, then £100. It looks like it's going up. It looks like it's going to be nice and juicy. It will probably be about £150 in a PSA 10. I think it's definitely worth grabbing. I mean, if we look at the pop reports, I think this is the reason why I would recommend this card, is because as we look at the PSA report right here, less than 1,000 PSA submissions and only 192 PSA 10s. It's an adorable card. It's a funny card. I really like it. It's one of those cards that, if it isn't already, it will start going up. 192 PSA 10s, and it seems like it's quite hard to grade an A10 as well. To make a £10 card, it's not that big of a risk to take, but I think it's worth it. You can see you can get it for quite cheap. I say definitely try, if you have a good Sudowoodo, to try grade it, see what you can get. It looks like it can sell for around 120 to 160 pounds, I think, within that range somewhere, but I think it's only going to go up for now, so definitely keep your eye on this one. And that concludes the first of hopefully many videos in where I show you guys the massive price increase that you can get from grading these illustration rares in a PSA 10. I hope I've shown you a decent amount right now, because I have a lot more to show you guys. I would love to know your feedback. Let me know if you enjoyed this type of video. Let me know what I could do to improve. You guys should let me know in the comments down below if there are any cards that I've missed or any suggestions, and hopefully they'll be featured in the other videos that I make of this series. I feel like it's really informative, and you guys could be sitting on absolute gold mines, and I need to let everybody know. This is why I let everybody know about illustration rares in the first place. I'm hoping that I can share that information. But if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash the like button, comment down below what you liked about this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.